Good morning, evening, whatever time of the day you listen to this. This is Roberto Martinez with Martinez392. Thank you for watching today's video. Today, this is my life video. I made one earlier, but I just feel like it wasn't enough in depth. I didn't explain my whole entire life. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't explain enough in depth. I didn't make it enough. You know, there was bits and pieces I left out. But this video, I'm going to do my best, my absolute best, to make sure that I do not leave nothing out in this video. I'm going to explain everything. You know, there's so many directions that I could have went with this video. And I feel like this is the best, absolute best way of going in this direction. You know, there's going to be some things I don't explain in depth. And it's for reasons of, I want to keep certain things, less dampened. I want to keep everything a little private, a little bit more private, but I am going to go and explain almost everything. You guys will know almost my whole entire life, the things I've been through, but there's certain things I got to keep on the low, and there's reasons, you guys all know why. But let me go right into it. You know, all my life, especially when I started in elementary school, that's where everything really started going. You know, I think I started in first grade, where my school started thinking different of me. You know, a lot of the school administrators started thinking different of me, started thinking that maybe I didn't belong in regular classes. And, you know, that's when it really started. I think it was around first grade is when they put me in a classroom called the self-contained classroom. Now, there's nothing wrong with that classroom. Don't get me wrong. But it just wasn't the right situation for me. It wasn't the place where I belonged. It wasn't the place I fit in. That was the problem all along. Look, I have no issues with the people inside that classroom. I had no issues with it at all. The issues I had with it, with everything at actual, is it taught me way below my grade level. It made me made me have to work so much more harder to get where I'm at today than if I would have if they just taught me at the grade level that I needed to be at. It wasn't an easy road. You can ask my advisor at my college. He will tell you I had to work so hard to get where I'm at today. I'm going to have a 3.5 grade point average when I graduate in May. That wasn't an easy accomplishment where I had to come from. You know, from first grade all the way until 8th grade, I was in a self-contained classroom where they were teaching me pretty much first, second grade work all the way from that point forward. When I took a test and I think in 9th grade, they was telling me I was at like a 5th grade reading level. And I'm like, what? That can't be right. But I kept on working hard. I kept on working hard. And when I went in college, they told me, when I got into college, when I took a test again in college, they said, "You at college reading level." I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, you are." And that was because of the dedication I took. But let me just get into the nooks and cranny of this whole entire situation, because now I just feel like I'm just jumping too far ahead. Let me just go back to the beginning. But like I said, let's just get right back to the beginning, when first grade, where everything started, where they put me in a self-contained classroom where all my depression, everything really just started balling up into where it became an issue. They put me in a self-contained classroom where they taught me way below my reading level. You know, that was one of the most depressing moments in my life from 1st through 8th grade. You know, just wondering and having your friends come up to you asking you, "Rob, why the heck you're inside that classroom? You don't belong in there." But, you know, I always didn't know if I would ever get out there. You know, I would have people tell me, you know, you're not going to do anything in life. And, you know, I just didn't know where life was going to head. Just so much things were going on at that moment. I was going through so many problems, and, you know, it would cause me to come home where I used to have, let me be real, I had anger issues, big time. And, you know, them anger issues resulted from the depression, from everything resulting from the school alone. I would come home with these anger issues, and I would just take it out. I used to snap on the easiest thing. You could just say hi to me, and I used to just snap. And, you know, I didn't understand why. It never made any sense to me why I used to do that. But, you know, when I got out 8th grade year, it all went away. It was just instantly, and I'm like, what? So it was all along that one reason. So you're telling me all the guidance counselors I went to, everything that I went to because of that problem, it was all because resulting in that one problem. All because of the school. It was just unbelievable. But you know, just imagine being told every single day, being told by your friends, you don't belong inside that class, and why you're in there. or being told by the teachers, by certain people around you that, oh, you're not going to do anything in life. Just imagine your family members, certain family members of yours who look down on you every single day, talking behind your back, calling you names, and then have to have other family members tell you, this family member told me about this about you, this family member told you this about you, and then I'm still proving them all wrong today. And that's the thing that makes me motivated every single day. I can go through the whole entire life story, right? But let me just go right into the story. So everything's kept on progressing, right? I used to, in 1st through 8th grade year, I was the top inside this class. In this self-contained classroom, I would get A's every single year, year in, year out. Every single year. And I used to go to ask my mom, my parents, say, hey, when am I gonna get out? And when am I gonna get out? 2nd grade, I missed so much school. Like, literally, I'm not even gonna lie. 2nd grade year, I missed so much school, my parents got fined. Because I was so sick and tired of being inside that classroom, I didn't want to go to school anymore. That's how much it was affecting me, where my parents got a fine and a meal because I never went to school my 2nd grade year. I just didn't show up. I never wanted to go. If you have a situation like that to the point where you don't even want to go to school, the problem is pretty bad. And that problem continued and continued and continued and continued on. And I used to fight every single day. Every single day. And I used to say, why am I in this situation? Why am I in this situation? And I would never understand. And everybody knew inside that school that I wanted out of that classroom, but no one did anything to help. Not one single person. You know what's so funny? These same exact people that were inside this school district waited until I was done and graduated and told me when I was done and graduated, you didn't belong inside that classroom. Then why the hell didn't you do something when I was there? You had every single opportunity, but you just kept on sitting there and doing nothing about it, allowing me just to sit there, continuing to suffer, continuing allowing me to fall behind. Now, when I got to college, I had to work 5 times harder. It was unbelievable. But let me just move forward to 8th grade year, because pretty much it's just the same repetitive story from 1st to 8th grade year. But 8th grade year is when everything changed. I remember the first day of 8th grade. My schedule I got in the mail was all messed up. I didn't even have classes that I needed to take. So I remember getting the schedule in the mail, and I know, okay, something's going to have to happen, because this schedule is not even lining up. I don't have math. I don't got language arts. So something is going to have to change. Because I think around 6th grade year, they put me in a separate math and language arts class. So at least at some point, I was out of that classroom. They had me out of that classroom. They put me in a separate language arts and math class, which was excellent for me. It was working well for me. I loved it. Get me out of there. I was all for it. But that year they didn't even have it on there. So I knew something was going to have to change. So first day of 8th grade year, I hear, as soon as I get down, I sit down inside the classroom. I hear my name over the intercom. It says, Roberto Martinez, please report to the main office. Then I get escorted, which made everything so strange, is I was escorted down to the main office. I'm like, why am I being escorted? If it's not a big deal, why am I being escorted down to the main office? But I was still escorted. I was escorted to the principal's office, and he's like, Rob, come sit down. He pulls the chair away so I can sit down, and he tells me, he's like, Rob, I have a question for you. I know your schedule's all messed up, but I want to make a proposal to you, and I want your opinion on it. And I'm going to do it if you agree to it. He's like, how would it feel if you got out of the self-contained classroom for your final year here in the middle school? How would it feel if you were with your friends in your regular classrooms, taking regular classes? How would it feel if you were with your friends, not in a self-contained classroom anymore? How would it feel? And I had no words for it. Honestly, I did not. At that moment, I wanted to break down, because I was just didn't know. Because at that time, I didn't think anyone ever would believe in me because of just everything. And that person did. that principal believed in me enough to take that risk, that chance. Because, you know, let's be real. He overruled every single administrator inside that school. He was putting his job on the line. Let's be real. He did it because he believed in me. And he did it, and he told me, Rob, I believe in you. Make me proud. And, you know, honestly, if you look back at what I have done so far, I have to honestly say, I believe he has to be proud, because what I have done and the things that I have accomplished, you know, he has to be proud. But, you know, he put his job on the line. And, you know, most people don't do that. Especially for people in that situation. Most people don't do that. Alright, so let's just move on throughout high school years. 9th grade year, I thought everything was going to be perfect, right? Everything was excellent. Everything was going very well. But it was just one day where I received a phone call. It was evening time. This is where everything starts going wrong, kinda. Getting rough. I receive a phone call. It was like I don't know what, 7 o'clock at night. I receive a phone call from my uncle telling me that my mother was found unconscious. And I didn't know what to think at that moment. He's like, Rob, get ready. You gotta leave. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna say, and then he tells me, yeah, and your cousin is the EMT on the ambulance, so we gotta get going. I'm like, oh no. And he tells me on the phone, he's like, yeah, and I even called them, and I even called down to the station and told them, remove him from the ambulance. Don't let him go. And I'm not even lying, there was like 5 or 6 EMTs there that could have took that ambulance call. And they didn't. And that at that moment, I left that department. I was actually a member of that department. I was a junior membership of that department. And after that, I left. But just imagine finding out that your mother was found unconscious, right? And you didn't know what was going on. It was absolutely killed me. Because I didn't know for 24 hours if she was going to be able to make it. But my main focus at that moment was my cousin. Because my cousin, I could look inside of his eyes, was devastated. Was so devastated at that moment. And, you know, I didn't have no emotions. My uncle, my aunt came up to me. He's like, you good? Because everyone else is showing emotion inside this room but you. You're doing okay. It's your mother. I said, yeah. I'm trying to keep everyone strong because I see my cousin over there who's just on the ambulance trying to save my mother. What she did, thankfully. She's here today. But I could tell he was devastated. And I said, I gotta stay strong for him. He's devastated. It's look inside of his eyes. You could tell he didn't want to do that. You could tell he didn't want to be in that situation at that moment. But he was, because of a people who wasn't man enough to get on that ambulance at that time when you made that phone call down to the station and told them, have someone else take that call. You know? It was devastating, and it took me 24 hours to find out that my mother would make it. She was on a ventilator for 24 hours. She couldn't breathe her own for 24 hours. It was devastating to me. But I kept on moving on at that moment. And I'm here today, you know? Better than ever. You know, I still have people today tell me in my family that you have beat all odds. You have beat everything that I thought of you. I have family members tell me today that I never thought you could do this. And you know, it hurts me the most when you hear that. But always remember is never allow someone to tell you can't do something. Because if you believe in it and you put everything you can into it, 9 times out of 10, you will be able to do it. Because failure is not an option. Because failure, you only fail when you don't get back up. You can fail time and time again. So many successful people fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, but they always pick themselves back up and they always continue pushing ahead, and that's something you gotta remember. My name is Roberto Martinez with Martinez392, and thank you for watching.